Hey everybody, hey Atomic Man, hey Mac. Today is the day that I have finally unlocked ad revenue on YouTube. Finally hit 4K public watch hours on YouTube. Ad revenue. And then I'm going to say designed the rest of Skeleseller, mocked up UI, and planned the timeline. So that's the plan for today. Can't really write it in the journal because it's just a plan right now. Hey, Siegfried. Big dollars. I kind of doubt it, but yeah. At least it's the start of something. So yeah, today I already updated the today command, and it is pretty much what you just saw me write on in the journal. It's going to be finishing up some game design and then doing UI mockups and planning the timeline for the game. Ember, thanks for resubbing. Do I make all the art? No. And for Idle Ascendance, the sprites that I used were there. I don't think I've really ever done art for games. I did the music for Botland, and I did the music for the title screen of the prototype, and that's the only music that was in the game, I guess. How am I going to celebrate? It's an achievement. You said achievements need to be celebrated. So I kind of already celebrated this one because it was getting YouTube partner that I was celebrating. This one in particular, I don't know if I'm going to do something special for it. And also, it was pretty quick after the last one. Hey, Mudkip. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do anything specifically, but I will write down to consider a celebration. And I can consider celebrating 4K watch hours. Yeah. Yeah, the big things for me were launching the prototype and becoming a YouTube partner. And I think the next kind of big thing to celebrate is going to be the first checkpoint of this game. And I don't know when that'll be. There's kind of a tough time planning this because May 22nd is the start of my vacation. And I'll be gone for about, 3 weeks. And so trying to target just before May 22nd gives us about a month. I just don't think that's a very long time. And if you can't target before it, then you have to wait an extra 3 weeks. So yeah, I'll have to see how that goes. Hey, Granny Sith. Keyboard cam is a bit out of focus. Yeah, I saw it doing that. Thanks for letting me know. I thought it would just fix itself, but it doesn't look like it's fixing itself. Nope. It doesn't want to keep for whatever reason. I wonder if I can do something about this. Let's try changing this. Did that work? I think that worked. Yeah, I think that worked. Thanks. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna just do what we normally do here, which is look through the questions that I had. Not the timeline one yet. We'll get to that at the end. What exactly are you doing with the town? It's always showing, so that would allow for easy interactions, not that they're needed. I don't think it'd be fun to set item prices, and I don't think you should have to manage inventory yourself. Yeah, so what are you doing with the town? Well, what's already planned was building stuff, upgrading buildings, and I think that's it. Yeah. So should we add something? And I'm inclined to say that, well, let's talk about it. I was going to say that it's maybe a little too soon to plan something, but just building and upgrading isn't a whole lot. And ideas, and I wrote down that I don't like these things, but setting prices, I guess like managing customers, maybe guiding them to the thing that they want. Maybe like changing stock or restocking. Maybe you choose what you're selling. And I'm not totally sure this would be fun. Yeah, because I guess the way a lot of this stuff works is if there's a decision that's always very, very straightforward in a game, why even have you make that decision? So like, let's say you had a bunch of skills you could choose from, and they literally just boiled down to like, this one does +1 damage, this one does +2 damage, and this one does +3 damage. It's not really a choice anymore, is it? Like, you just pick this one. It's strictly better than the other two if all you need to do is do damage. So typically you'd have some like, okay, +1 damage, but like chance to slow enemies. And now all of a sudden there is a choice. Like, hey, this doesn't do as much damage, but you could slow down enemies when you use it. So with managing inventory, the way I could kind of see this working is you have a bunch of different stuff. Maybe you have like rusty sword, I don't know, copper sword. You have a couple of those. You have like 1 diamond sword. You've got some other things like a crossbow. And maybe these all have values. Like this is worth 3 gold. This is worth 9 gold. This is worth like 400 gold. And this is worth whatever, 20 gold. And so you're picking what you want to sell next. But even then, it's like, what decision would you be making here? Is it just to sell the most expensive thing? Maybe, okay, maybe the decision is that there aren't people who necessarily want to buy this right now. Maybe there are people, they've got like a little thought bubble above their head with what it is they want to purchase. Or maybe you know how much money they have and you know the prices of these things. I guess I'll write this down as other ideas that we have here. So it could be that customers want a specific thing and you need to stock that at first. Could be that customers only have so much money and you need to show them stuff that they can afford. What else? Can I be the potion seller? Yes, there will be one potion seller. It'll just be in your game. I'll have a contact some central server and say, has someone already claimed this? And then, are these ideas even good ideas? So if a customer does want a specific thing and you have a storeroom of all of the items and they say, I want a diamond sword, I guess you're going and finding the diamond sword. And the way I could kind of see this being interesting is like all the items are just strewn on the ground. So I think I have the items picture here somewhere. Yeah, here. So if you look through this and you were like, where's the diamond sword? It's okay, it's maybe that one. But I guess now imagine you have a room full of these. I guess it's pretty easy to just spot this stuff. Yeah. Plus, I don't really think it would be fun. This is basically like find the item. Okay, here's another idea. Maybe it's more of a management task. Like, e.g., you want a couple of cheapo items stocked at any time, and then maybe one expensive one. Maybe get some big businesses submit a major order. That's the motivation for taking on big dungeons. Well, at least the way that I'm picturing this is your town is just sort of always open for business. And so if you just kind of walked away from the game, let's say you have a stock of 1,000 items. If you just walk away from the game, they'll all eventually get sold. I guess that could be another idea, which is like, what if you had to do something to even get the customers to show up? Yeah, memory game to find items. There is an entire game based around, I don't remember what it's called, but you work at a warehouse and you get items in and you have to ship items out. And you getting them in is like you getting boxes and boxes of stuff and you have to put it somewhere in the warehouse. And I guess the way the game works is at first, you know, imagine if you were just getting fruits, you'd put like, oh, here's the orange section, and you're literally like, you're placing oranges down somewhere. Then you're like, oh, I'll put apples over here. So you got some apples, but then you get like 400 other items. So now are you like, oh, well, red stuff should go over here and orange stuff should go over here? Is it like fruit should go in this section? But that's a game unto itself, and I'm not sure how that would fit here. We're probably gonna need to prototype some of this. Because even this idea of like, okay, let's say you were keeping cheap items and expensive items stocked at any given time. Like I could imagine this being sort of like what I mocked up here. Like imagine each of these treasure chests is really an item. And so you put out a rusty sword, a copper sword, and a diamond sword. And like most customers are going to be able to afford the first three. But maybe every once in a while someone does come over and buy the last one. I don't think that would really kind of matter here either. Idea, what if there were bad customers that you had to battle? What happened in the last game you launched? You mean Idle Ascendants or do you mean Botland? Because, well, I guess I'll just answer both of them. Botland, oh yeah, Botland was discontinued a while ago. I am not making money off of it. I made probably a total of about $700. And it cost a significant amount more than that. Make it in Argos? What is that? Is this a... It says a UK-based retailer that offers fast home delivery. Is that what we're talking about here? Because I guess that tracks with what I know about you. All right, so I guess my conclusions so far are I don't have a great system in mind. And I have a feeling that people will want to do something with their shop. And I think we would need to rapidly prototype this once we have a foundation. I see. Got you, Mudkip. Yeah, that's sort of like this game that I had talked about where you're positioning stuff, or at least I guess I kind of picture it that way. I want to still just kind of think out loud for a bit here. Imagine you're running a shop. I mean, imagine you're running a medieval fantasy shop. You've got swords, armors, potions. What would you be concerned with? And I guess a lot of the same things you'd be concerned in a regular shop. Things like how do you attract customers, setting prices, attracting customers, preventing theft, I guess hiring employees, paying bills. I'm not necessarily saying these things are fun. I'm just trying to figure out what would you even be doing. I guess acquiring the stock, but acquiring the stock is something that's very, very obviously answered in the game. Thought of adding game techniques like octalysis. Is this an actual thing? I've never heard of this. Huh. Octalysis framework for gamification. Oh, this thing? Meaning, accomplishment, empowerment, ownership, social influence, scarcity, unpredictability, avoidance. I see. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard of this. I'll write this down somewhere. But no, I had not considered this. Write this in my game design notes. New game, a sim. Yeah, so check out the Skell command. That describes what it is that we're making here. Oh, whoops. I forgot about this. It misheard me. Yeah, I don't think any of this would really be all that fun. So what do other games do about this when it comes to selling items? And I know there are other games where you run a shop. I think either they have you do the mundane things. So Moonlighter had you set prices. Again, I just don't like that idea. And other games, I guess it's sort of automated sometimes. Your characters just come in and buy items. Yeah, I think we need the foundation for this. So I'm not fully convinced that what you're doing with your town makes sense. Okay, there's one other idea that I have here, which is, what if your main character had to be moved to each of these stations in order to do something? E.g., you move to the storehouse to restock, you move to the blacksmith to actually put out items, etc. Then you hire other employees to do some of this for you. Maybe you have to pay them. I don't know. Okay, that could be an interesting idea. Yeah, that could be an interesting idea. Oh, did I share this publicly? I got to make sure this is actually public. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Yeah, I tried to keep this FAQ as short as possible. So for those who haven't heard about Skeleseller, this is everything I know about the game that I thought would be worth sharing so far. And it's in that document. All right, so something like this could work. Well, what would these actions really be? And part of this is I haven't really mocked it up. So I think I'm just going to write this down for now. Your town, there's a dedicated town area. Buildings are a manifestation of your player-wide skill tree. Buildings. So I'm reasonably, well, I think players will want some kind of active management of their town rather than just building and upgrading shops. Perhaps something like having to manage employees, assigning tasks to them like restocking, sorting inventory, I don't know, attracting customers, etc. This will hopefully be clearer after we have a foundation for the game, then we should rapidly prototype it. Yeah. Gluskup, thanks for resubbing. It took 17 minutes for my phone to deliver a stream notification. Yeah, I was gonna say I do have the role on Discord. I'm not sure if you're in it, but if you go to channels and roles and just click this checkbox, do you want to be notified when I start? It does post to content announcements, and at least then you could maybe get a tag from Discord as well. Regardless, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. Have some thoughts on this from when I was designing a marijuana growing sim game. I was trying to figure out how to have trends so the player needs to target with their stock. So for this, there can be events like a horde of dragons appear to the west. People will pay more for fire resistance potions. And Chaotic Kid, thanks for resubbing too. And hey, Uber. So I think something like this, this assumes that you have a way of making fire resist potions or a way of like getting them. And I suppose there could be like a portal that mostly gives these. Yeah, I think I'll just write this in an ideas section because I'm not totally sure how this is gonna be formed yet, and I think I need to. Oh my god, this is annoying. I don't know how to go to the ideas section and then close this and see where in the world the ideas section is anymore. So I guess we'll just leave this open. When it comes to managing your town, maybe you're managing employees by their tasks, e.g. you assign someone to restock, to sort inventory, or to attract customers. Then you could hire new employees. Maybe the employees are the automated bits, and doing these tasks is mostly just a matter of clicking to direct your character with the main choice being which is most important to do now. Okay, so there's that. And then this idea of maybe there are some goods that are more desired based on events e.g. a dragon attack on a nearby town could raise the price of fire resistance potions. For this to work, we would need a way of, well, you would need a way of acquiring specific items, e.g. a particular portal or a crafting thing. Yeah. Hey, Kicks. Okay, so let's go undo what I wrote up here. Your town. I think players will want some kind of active management. See the ideas section for some ideas. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's go back down to here. All right, so what are the classes and abilities? At the very least, come up with a general description of them. What are the class defining abilities? This isn't something that needs to be done now, but it is a system that's going to take time. Yeah, other timeline stuff is content. Making more classes, more abilities, more effects, etc. I guess we need to design a lot of this. We'll need some design behind it. Yeah. All right. I mean, this can just be a to-do item that I should just think about at some point. Where did the Skeleseller document go? Here it is. Design classes. 3 abilities each and a class defining ability. Think of roles like tank, healer, DPS, hybrid. Yeah. All right, what's next? Instances could have instance-wide or dungeon-wide debuffs, healings cut in half. This is just an idea, and I think it's a good idea, but I think it should be in the ideas section. All right, maybe you buy the ability to open multiple portals at a time. Yeah, that's also just an idea. Like, these are things that don't drastically change the game, and if we want to apply it later, we can. It's not even going to drastically change the code in a lot of cases. All right, challenge runs. Maybe something like you only have warriors or characters permanently die. Yep, this is also fine as an idea. The way I look at challenge runs is that I'd always plan on these being something that you do after beating the game. And if you've beaten the game, that means you liked the game enough to beat it, which means I'm already reasonably happy with how the game did. So if there's no more content after that, that's totally fine. I think it's nice to have something where the game just keeps entertaining you, but there's only so much content we can create. All right, let's move the timeline thing down so that I know where we actually are in this list. And I guess we'll do the timeline before the mockups. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, probably makes sense to make a logo and Steam page somewhat soon so people can start wishlisting it. Starting logo should be something quick, not the final one. We can throw the logo in the game itself. This I'm a little bit torn on. I do think it's good to get this into people's hands, but getting it into people's hands doesn't necessarily mean putting it on a Steam page, because there's some trade-off between having representative gameplay and having something soon. So I don't know where this should go exactly. Guess I was ready here for now. Autosave system. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be an autosave system, and I think we already have it written down. Display a health bar and instances for all characters. These were like little minor things. Yeah, I guess I'll make like a polish task. I don't know. This probably won't matter too much. Polish task. Okay. Before launching the final game, feel like I need to spend at least 2 weeks on just juice and polish. Yeah, this should go into the timeline as a specific thing. Juice and polish. Okay. Juice and polish task, where we just look at, where we look at everything and decide how each thing can be made better. All right, yeah. Cool. Did I look through all the other questions in the original document, move everything here? I think I did that. And then, yeah, move things from this document to the new one. So, like, make this the source of truth. All right, so these were ability ideas. Yep, these can still just be in an ideas section somewhere. All right, so I think we're on to the important stuff, which is the timeline. I guess I'll just make a separate section underneath here, ability ideas. And then we can tab all this back and delete this. Cool. All right, timeline. Yeehaw, let's consider it. I wrote this, which I don't think is meaningful. Off the cuff, I feel like if the prototype has all the systems in place, then it can be roughly 2 times that time for the final systems when coded well, then like 4 times that for polish, then time will be needed for UI, content, music, etc. Yeah, this was very off the cuff. I think it's worth listing out all the systems. So let's comb through the design. Let me close this section so the document isn't gigantic anymore. And let's just round up the systems that we have. Okay, so this is just adventurers. I guess it's like getting new adventurers. Then the adventurers themselves, classes, abilities, the story intro to the game. This is like a cutscene that's going to play out. The end of the game, end scene / credits. The town, where we have buildings, NPC customers. This is building and upgrading. And then their functions, selling stuff. Yeah. Item acquisition. So dungeons, gonna be battles and item acquisition. Leveling up the guild, playwright skill tree. Yeah, okay. This is functions, selling stuff, giving benefits to your characters. Yeah. Hey, Batman. Art of screen shake. Yeah, I think I might have seen that. Also, you're welcome to link it if you want to. I've watched a bunch of different things about juicing your game. And for those who haven't heard this concept before, juice is all of the like random polish stuff that you don't necessarily consider. And so it might be something like, shaking the screen. It might be particle effects, sound effects, some personality to the world, the players. Just there's a whole bunch of stuff. It's not like it's one category of thing. It's all the stuff that makes your game feel a little bit more alive and a little bit more like a game than just a static scene or a simple system. Yeah. I wonder if this is the one that I had seen. Oh, I can't preview it like that. Okay. All right, so have I captured this stuff here? Is there anything that is missing? So getting new adventurers. I guess I don't explicitly have that here. Hiring new adventurers. The story intro, that's here. Credits page, end scene. So like cut scenes and story stuff. All right, so this is done. This is done. Building, where's buildings? Building, here it is. Building, selling. So the building system is building stuff, selling items, I guess. And then functional effects, giving benefits to your characters. How do you see those benefits? How do you know which benefits a building gives? And then there was something else I wanted to write down a little while ago, which was like Thursday ECS mockup. Is it worth having a tooltip component on an entity? They may show in different cases. A button may have this component for showing in a skill tree. I don't know. All right, I'll figure that out later. What's the final win condition of the game? That's a good question. Originally, it was like destroy the final bosses. And I guess in this game, it could be something like that too, where there's a portal that is the hardest portal. But yeah, I guess I haven't fully answered that. So I'll write that down over here too. What's the win condition of the game? Could be to destroy a final boss or sell the best item in the game or anything else. I'm not super concerned about this. The way I sort of see it is, oh, you know what? It could be to sell an antidote. Well, we'll see. All right, is there anything else that's missing from here? Building stuff. Oh yeah, upgrading. Building, selling items. All right, NPC customers, where is that? And then battles, projectiles, rewards, item acquisition. All right, I think this is pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so it's worth just having this be somewhere. And then we need to figure out roughly how long this stuff will take and what will be in checkpoint number 1. So I think we need to write this in the final document. Overall systems. This stuff. Fine, I'll click the share button. Thank you, Freak Tactic. Been subbed for quite a long time too. All right, and then we want some general estimates for this stuff, and then these other timeline things that we have. I don't think we should call this overall systems. I think we should call this timeline and estimates. And these are just going to be very rough estimates anyway. And then we need to figure out the checkpoints. So let's write this stuff down over here. And then let's tab this back and then tab the whole thing back and then fix the bulleted list because it's got the wrong bullet points. There we go. Why can't I scroll this? There we go. All right, so here are all the systems. Here's the other timeline stuff we have to do. Now we need to do two things. We need to figure out what are the checkpoints that we have. Most importantly, what is the first checkpoint and when are we targeting? And then the other thing is, how long does each general system take? As part of this is like a proper buff/debuff system. Yeah. Okay, so, oh, Batman, thank you too for resubbing. Much obliged. I have a video slated to release today, and I recorded it yesterday on YouTube, and it's going to be launched in, what time is it? Going to be launched in 3.5 hours from now. The video will be published. It talks, well, I had a reason for bringing it up now, but I'll just leave it at that for right now. There's a video launching in 3.5 hours. I'll try to post an announcement on Discord. It's not like some super serious video or anything. Okay, so building buildings, upgrading buildings, selling items, functional effects. Honestly, I'm not even sure it's worth assigning general times to this because they're going to be potentially wildly inaccurate. Yeah, not super serious or anything. Now you know everything you need to know. Let's figure out something for this stuff. I guess the way I looked at building buildings is you're just clicking an option somewhere and then placing it. But I don't want to write something like, oh, 1 day for this, because probably we're going to do something more than just that. Maybe there's like a building animation or something. So maybe we should just put this in terms of like small, medium, or large. Small, small, maybe medium, and possibly medium, depending on how we do this. Battles, projectiles could be an involved system. This could be an involved system. This doesn't have to be an involved system, it probably would be. AI should be pretty simple because it is just use abilities when you can. So I don't think that's going to be too bad. I don't think this is going to be too bad. I don't think this is going to be too bad. This planning for the MVP. Careful of the scope creep. The MVP was essentially the prototype that we already did and have now like thrown away. So this is planning for the final game. And some of this stuff is sort of unproven. So for those, we're going to try to get to the point where we can test them soon. Yeah, I think another consideration here is to get stuff in the game that we're unsure of. That way we can get feedback on it. Yeah, skill trees, I think were going to be a decent amount. Save system, saving and loading. I mean, saving, well, it's not, I don't really consider these two separate things. They're both purposeless without the other one. So I guess saving plus loading. And I'll just write that might be a medium system. Auto save shouldn't be too bad because it should just be using the save system. And then UI for all this stuff also shouldn't be too bad. Saves are not usually very complex, right? You have a couple of files, you maybe see some auto saves, you pick which one you want. I don't think that should be a lot. Settings page, I'm also hoping is not too bad, but I'm going to still write medium for that. Story intro, this part might be like a large task. The end scene might be not so bad, and the credits won't be too bad. Achievements. All right, so music is like a gigantic task. Juice and polish we should consider like medium to large. Content is gigantic. Yep. Sound design is pretty involved. Trailer is probably pretty involved. Builds, I actually don't know what that's going to be. Steam page, again, probably pretty involved. And then game listing shouldn't be too bad on Twitch. Okay, so here's what I kind of think when I look at this stuff. So now if we were to just say, what if small is like 1 to 3 days and medium is like 4 to 7 days and large is, I guess, just greater than 7 days. So then what did we end up with here? All right, so we had 10 smalls, 10 S. We had 15 mediums. Well, actually, technically, one of them was medium to large, so I'll have to factor that in specially. And then how many large ones? 3. 3 large. Okay, and let's just bump this up to 4. I know I said one of them was medium to large. So, and then let's apply the, again, this is just very rough math to figure this out. This is not, we're not going to hold ourselves to this. So let's get the worst possible estimates. So 30 days plus 105 days plus, let's say 14 days for that maybe. So 56 days. So I guess 180 or 191. Yeah, it's written right there anyway. I don't know why I was doing the math myself. All right, so that's like 6 months. I think that's, I don't know, pretty reasonable. That would essentially put us toward the end of the year for launching this. Yeah. So just rolling up what we have below and assigning the worst case estimates would give us 10 small, 15 medium, 4 large. Like 6 months. Yeah. How many people are working on it? So it is me as mostly development, I guess. Darkstorm as also mostly development, and Quickie Joe as art, and I guess like art direction. I do have the credits page, by the way, for this. Although it just says exactly what I typed out there. So yeah. I thought about making YouTube devlogs. They're quite popular. Yeah, I've thought about it, and I think that's something I'd like to do, and I'm just not sure. I guess I'll write it in the to-do list. It's the kind of thing that it'll take time, but I'm not really counting it toward the project, I guess. Actually, you know what? Here's how I'll do this. I'll just write a calendar reminder at some point. Write calendar reminder to produce devlogs, maybe with each checkpoint. Yeah. Yeah, I think doing it more frequently than that would not be a good idea. Okay. Okay. So we got our timeline. That was at least the first bit. Yeah, I'll be using Godot. There is a small FAQ that I wrote, which answers, I think, the most important questions. Like, what am I using to make it? When's it launching? Where's it launching? How do I play it before then? How much will it cost? What's the story? So very just quick stuff. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask because I can always add them to the FAQ. The at pill stuff is not bad, but I have to be very careful with it because I can leak information. So actually, when I type an at symbol, I made it not show anything. I overrode the CSS for that. That way, I don't show people's email addresses or other private documents or something, because all manner of things can show there. So how long does each general system take? We answered that. And now, what are the checkpoints that we have? So here's how I look at this stuff. We got feedback on the game. There were 36 responses. People said all sorts of stuff. And I wouldn't want the first checkpoint to be less than what people already tested with the prototype. So I think we need to have a little bit more than what the prototype had. Checkpoints. Checkpoint number 1. The goal of this is figure out if we're on the right track. Well, I guess the goal of every checkpoint is to figure out if we're on the right track. Goal of checkpoints, figure out if we're on the right track, get feedback from players. And I guess like test or like find bugs. Yeah. Is there any other goal that we have for this? I'm going to write it as this. Figure out if we're building the right thing. Yeah. Good, cool. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. So checkpoint number 1. What is different between the prototype and this game? And I think the biggest thing is this town mechanic. The second biggest thing is the dungeon mechanic, and the third biggest thing is the battle system changing. So even if we literally just had battles and nothing else, it would still be different enough where it might be interesting to test that. So I think what I'd like to have, battles and town mechanics. Then I think checkpoint number 2 at their most basic, not a lot of content, just testing the basic gameplay loop. It's hard to plan any checkpoints beyond checkpoint number 1 because we might do checkpoint number 1 and we might be like, you know what, this was a massive mistake. Let's pivot. But anyway, with what we know now, I think checkpoint number 2 would be probably like better new user experience and like slightly more content. Then checkpoint number 3 would be, I guess, beta. All systems are in place, but not all content is there. And then we eventually get to launch. Everything is in place. Something like this. So if you were to just think about this in terms of number of months, this might be at like 2 months in. Actually, I shouldn't say 2 months. It's April, middle of April right now. So maybe like mid-June. Checkpoint number 2 could be August. I guess I'll just write June. August. I kind of want to say September here and then launch in like November. I don't know, something like that. Strongly advise you to take care of user introduction and tutorial only when all the content is integrated. Yeah, so when I say better new user experience here, it doesn't necessarily mean code the final thing. It means something like give some information on what you're doing in the game, and it could literally just be text in the game. So for example, in the prototype, this text that shows here is literally there in the world. Like if you were to launch the game, you can scroll down and you'll see this is the boss monster, kill it to win the prototype. So like this, it's not polished, right? You would never want a label floating in the world in a game like this. But hey, it works. It tells you what the goal of the game is. And now if you're a new player, you're like, oh, I get it. I need to kill this thing to win. So something like that can just be what the new user experience is at first. And then, yeah, at some point we need to flesh it all out. So I kind of want, let me think about this. And I guess we're going to say like address feedback from previous checkpoint. This is just kind of implied, and it's implied in all of this stuff. And again, the reason this is June, note Adam is on vacation from May 22nd to the middle of June. So it's basically like, let's scramble, not scramble, but let's get as much done as we can before I go on vacation so that hopefully there's not too much to do to get ready for the first checkpoint. And maybe we could do this even in May. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see. Then August. So let's see. We got all of July to do the slightly more content thing. I think we could actually maybe target like end of July. I'll just write July/August. And then this September for the beta and then November for the launch. I kind of want to aim a little bit sooner. But yeah, sure, whatever. Good enough. These are estimates. Have we answered everything here? Should contain enough to be able to judge the game. There should probably be building, selling, and battling. Maybe we skip things like choosing characters, story intro. Yeah. Yeah. Battles don't need to use real abilities. They could all just be attack for 10 damage. Yeah. Get stuff that we're unsure of. Yeah. Okay, so that's the thing that I don't have specific checkpoints planned for. But if we ever want to test a system, we can continue with that. Note, we don't need an official checkpoint just to test a system. E.g., if we want a new shop mechanic, we can make a checkpoint 2.5 and have people test it. Yeah. All right. I think we're good there. Yeah, so one of the things that I listed as large here is music. I've been working on stuff in my free time, and I'm kind of getting closer, maybe, to a town theme. But yeah, I'm still not totally sure I like it. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So win condition of the game. I think it's that you destroy a final boss, and that boss gives you an antidote, and then you sell the antidote. Oh, I already wrote this down. Yeah. Being the final boss, you get an antidote. An adventurer wanders into your town. They're slowly dying in poison. You say, I just got to run to get them. The antidote, they drink it. Cool. Yeah, so there. That's it. This is when you win the game. Cut to the credits. Cool. So we have that down. Delete this. So now UI mockups would be next. And yeah, I am not very good at this. So I want to warn everybody that I'm not very good at this. And we're going to probably plan this just kind of directly in Godot and make this really choppy at first. Yeah. So the things I want to mock up is like main screen of town plus 3 battles. Battle screen. How do we show abilities and cooldowns? Life bars. I think that's about it. Do we need anything else? I guess like projectiles and damage numbers, but those going to be on top of anything that already exists. Skill tree. So choosing which abilities are equipped and then assigning points, unassigning points, and seeing number of available points. All right, a way of opening character info. This used to be the quick info UI. I don't know where it'll go in the new game. All right, so town stuff. Seeing what buildings do. Seeing which items are for sale. Seeing how much money customers have. Which benefits do they give? Need to show money, I guess. Town plus 3 battles plus money count somewhere. That could just go in the upper left or something like that. Oh yeah, oh could be. The money could be a pile of gold in your storeroom that has a label above it. Don't care too much about this thing right now. Need to plan out the selling stuff. Yeah, this I have no idea what that's gonna look like. All right, what other systems do we have listed? So building stuff, upgrading stuff. Yeah, that needs to go here. How do we show abilities? Where was building? Here, showing what they do. Seeing what an upgrade will do. Selling items, functional effects, sure. Customers, yep. Hiring new adventurers. Yeah, that can just be a building UI somewhere. Projectiles, buffs and debuffs, rewards. Oh yeah, the reward screen. Reward screen. Portals, the enter, or like forming a party, seeing the level of the place, seeing maybe how many rooms there are. There should be a title screen. This is just pretty much 3 things, right? New game, continue game, settings, and maybe quit, I guess. But that's all pretty straightforward. a settings page. Yeah, I'm not super concerned with mocking up a settings page, but this is things for like video, audio, game options, and then close. What else do we need? I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, so this is some of the stuff we're going to mock up, and we're not going to do all of this today. I mean, I've got about 5 hours left, but we're going to see how much we can get through. And then I will probably ask people better than I am at design of like, how do I make this better? Because, yeah, I'm probably going to do a pretty shoddy job. Now, maybe before doing this, before doing any of this, maybe seek out some free graphics to fill in the blanks just for the sake of mockups to make it clearer what's going on. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I feel like there's a pretty solid plan. So today is about mockups. Then Friday should be, well, tomorrow is no stream. Gonna prototype some systems and code. I guess I could do that on stream, but I'm probably not going to do that. And then this is going to be like starting the GitHub repo and getting to work. And that's where we start working toward the first checkpoint. All right, I think I should take a break and then we can start doing the mockups. Oh, yeah, there's certainly a lot of work. And yeah, I'll just see where we get with the mockups. Okay, I will take a break. You can all have fun playing Jump Royale. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey again, everybody. For those who don't know, by the way, so one of the things that people tend to have a problem with is if you type something like R5, it jumps right 5 degrees. But then if you want to type it again, you need to append some garbage to your message. So like R5 and then A and then R5 and then B, because Twitch has a limit to how many times you can type the same message. So for anyone who's like, oh, I can't do the same move I just did and I want to, now you know how. All right, close the game. Also, hey, Raimu. So let's seek out some free graphics. We can maybe just go to itch and find some assets. And I want free ones. I don't know how to do that. Is free a tag that people can put in? No. Oh, here we go, free. Okay, and all we need is something with some buildings maybe. What do we have in this one? We have various trees and stuff. Oh, they've got some crops in here. Interesting. Where are the buildings? Huh. I guess they just don't show it on the page, maybe? Because I see them in the pictures. Like, there's that right there. I guess, what do I even need? I don't even know what I need, really. Well, okay, that's one of them. Let's see. Do we have something else? Cute RPG asset pack. Yeah, we got some building stuff in here, too. I like the idea of a building with a cutaway ceiling. And that way you can have a sign on the front that says what the building is. Yeah, no limits for sword people. That's correct. All right, so maybe one of those. And then is there anything else? What's this? Tiny sword. Ooh, this is a really cool art style. Also, they did a great job with their itch page. Like here, it's a blank background, but here they actually put something that makes it look like it, it actually works. That's a very good idea. So the way of doing these huts is such that I guess you'd have a hut in the town, and then in front of it, maybe you'd have the wares that shop is selling. Wow, they did a really good job making this page. Like, really, really good job. Yeah. Oh, they've done a bunch of things here. All right, I'm kind of just getting lost now in looking up some of these asset packs, and I'm not accomplishing a task anymore. So let's take one of these that'll kind of work. I think something like this might be good. Let's download this. I'm not planning on using this in the game. Also, I'm not sure what this is going to show. Hopefully it's not payment information. Okay. Yeah, so this is just for mockups. I plan on paying for all the art that we use for the game, but I'm not going to pay for mockup stuff right now. Also, I mean, this is listed for free. So what do we have in here? Tile sets, walls, floors, etc., particles, objects, characters. So it's probably one of these sorts of things. Oh, some of these are only in the premium version? Oh, well, that's a shame. Yeah, in fact, it looks like many of these are in the... It's a bad idea. Could you be able to enter a hut, have a sign out front? You could. I need some way of communicating. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to mock up first is probably going to be the town stuff. Where did I even write this down? Yeah, I don't want to mock up the title screen, and I don't think this is very important. I think it's the town. And so I haven't exactly figured out what this will look like yet. And for now, I was just getting the assets anyway. So let's still figure out if there is a thing that has, let's try this one, download. All right, so here's the new one. This is the basic pack, which might not contain what we need. We have wooden house, water, tiled dirt, hills, grass, fences. Wow, neat that they have a bitmask reference in there. Is there something else? What is this? I don't even know what this is. It says defaultlet palette. Guessing default palette. I don't know what that very first one is though. Huh. And then what do we have here? Egg item, free chicken house. All right, well, whatever. This is probably good enough. Let's, yeah. So let's go make a brand new project altogether. How do we do that? New. So this is going to be Skeleseller mockups. Project path. I guess we'll put this into the Godot path. There we go. Create and edit. Was there another pack that I didn't download? I think just this one. All right, so let's just add in a 2D scene here and let's try to throw in all these things. Part of the problem is we're throwing these in as entire pictures, but we need many of these. Fine, well, let's just add this in. All right, now add a tile map. And now add in a new tile set. Put this over here, I think. Is that how that works? No, that's not how that works. It goes like this. Would you like to automatically create tiles? I guess so. What are the tile sizes? This kind of looks like it did it correctly. Yeah, kind of looks like it did it correctly. All right, so now we go to tile map and we actually pick some of these things and just draw them. What is this again? S? I think I can just select a rectangle, right? Yeah. All right. There we go. I guess stretch out this portion of it maybe. Okay. Cool. So there's our house. I don't think I want roofs in any of this. I mean, there could be a window, but this would technically have to be on layer, higher layer. How do we make another layer? Physics layer, terrain sets, layers. Add element. So this will be background and foreground. And now in the foreground, we just put one of these. And in the background, we put that tile. So now you can see through the window to the floor. Yeah. Unfortunately, none of this makes any sense because this is all in the context of a town. So we should probably draw out the town thing first, which I guess we could add in another tile map. So we add another tile map and we say that this is the Oryx tile map. And this one needs the world that we had. The sprites aren't going to match exactly, and that's okay. Where's the Oryx one? Oryx Fantasy World, is it this? Yeah, it's this. Okay, so add a new tile set. Drag this down to here. Go to tile set, add a thing. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Delete. Okay, so it created the atlas automatically, but it did it poorly. I forgot how big these are. I don't know, 32 by 32 maybe. There's a way to change this. Here. Let's try 24 by 24. I don't remember if that's correct. No, it doesn't look big enough. Wait a second, how could that not look big enough though? The sprites themselves were... We need to change this too? Ah, they are 24 by 24. All right, so now we got some tiles we can use. I think. Can we paint these in? Yeah. All right, so there's the concept of the town itself. Oh, this also needs layers, I guess. Ugh. Maybe you can add in multiple things to the same map, and I didn't even need to do this. I don't know, though, and I'm not going to worry about this. We're not making the real game here. All right, so we want to draw just a giant stone setting here. Where does this go? There, right? I don't know. Let me put this behind the other one. There, so now the town shows up on top of that. Now, if I were to draw in just some random other tiles here, like we put one of these over here and one of these over here and one of these over here, then I hit play, what do we see? I'm gonna call this like town scene. Yeah, okay. So we're seeing everything that I would expect. All right, so we can Command Z all of those things. All right, so, whoa, what? 400 errors. Tiles outside that thing. Yeah, this happened a while ago, and there was some easy way to fix this. And it was a thing that might not show up anymore because there was some like, yeah, remove this in fully transparent regions. Remove tiles outside the texture. That's what should be done here, but it's not allowing me to do that. And I wrote exactly this down. Where is... Hang on a second. Engage privacy mode. I need to do something. Public. Here we go. Okay. Human sets up competing shop in the town. You must drive them to bankruptcy before they do the same to you. Did you hear the basic story of the game, Raimo? Because I really like where the basic story is so far. And your thing could totally fit. But yeah, this part here. Your dream is to be an adventurer. You're out questing one day when you encounter a poisonous snake. You win the fight handily, but the poison is dealing 1 HP of damage every so often. You head to the nearest town, but there are no shops open, so you can't find an antidote. You die. You come back as a skeleton. You decide that no one should ever have this happen to them, and you open up your shop. So the way when you win the game, you kill the final boss, it drops an antidote, and another adventurer walks into your town and is dying of poison, but you save their life. So that's the overall story. I think if another shop were to open, there'd had to be some way for you to like put them out of business, for you to see their shop. And I think it might be like, it'd have to be its own entire system of you somehow putting competitors out of business. I guess I'm trying to keep systems simple. And I think the concept of putting someone else out of business would be something where it's like there's some complexity there and something you'd have to manage. I'm not sure how you'd manage it exactly. But I like the idea. Yeah. All right, so somewhere in here, Godot engine, I think I wrote the thing about tile maps. The problem is that the option isn't enabled. I don't know how to enable this. I just messed with settings and clicked a bunch of things and it eventually lit up. Well, that's not helpful. Oh, really? Yeah, this is supposed to be lit up and it's not. I wonder how we get it to the point where it is lit up. Strange. Yeah, I don't know what to do. What if we change the tile shape? Does it light up then? No. Wow, wild. What are you supposed to do here? Maybe we reload the scene? Is that even an option we can do? Reload. Does that fix it? It did. Whoa, nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're going to write that down. Isn't enabled by default. To fix this, reload the scene. So it was scene, reload, save scene. Yeah, neat. Thought about making a PowerPoint with the main gameplay loop, storyboard, and some concept art. No, I don't think so. And part of the reason why is like, who would it be for exactly? And so if it's for the stream audience, I think I'm just going to leave it to the FAQ. I think it's pretty clear. If it's for the people developing the game, I think they're all kind of in the loop because of the stream. And if it's for me, it's like I have a picture in my head already about this. So I'm just not sure who would really benefit from something like that. Like the stream audience will eventually have a checkpoint where they could just experience the game for themselves. Yeah, so we have our town square thing here. Also, this is gigantic, and I think we want to divide it up into rooms. And so I guess we could do that a little bit. There could be like the residential area, which I'd like to just represent as sort of single houses. I don't know. How about we write some things down before we do any of this? All right. So how are items actually sold? And the way I was picturing this, I was picturing that you'd have your various buildings. They don't even really need to be buildings, though. They could just be NPCs who are doing something. Like the blacksmith, the armor shop, alchemist. And in front of them would be some number of like item racks or displays. And then the items would show there with a price. It could just be a table, to be honest. Yeah. I like the idea of it just being a table. So we could do something like this and put this here, and this is where your items would show up. So I'll put this in the foreground. And then we'll put items on top of it. Unfortunately, this is getting really annoying because we now need to add in another tile map that is Oryx items. So this is Oryx world. And then the items, we need to go find the items. Where are they? Items. Drag that over here. Make a new tile set. Put the items into the tile set. What happened? What happened indeed? Why can't I see anything here? That's strange, right? This one has a tile set, this one doesn't. Oh, there it is. I just was zoomed out weirdly. All right, I mean, this looks pretty good. So now we're going to put these onto the world. Can I paint this in? Yeah, they paint weirdly because these are different sizes. I guess I just don't want the tile map to be this size. Maybe I could just say this is 8 by 8. Or actually, no, I could just say it's 24 by 24 to match the other ones, right? Yeah, there. And then just delete that and put these here. So yeah, this will look a little bit strange for now. We could offset it, I suppose. How do we offset it? Transform. Negative, no, not -8, -8. There we go. Maybe like a tiny bit higher or lower. Bringing on others. Yeah, check out the credits command. All right, so yeah, this is what I was kind of picturing here. Although it wouldn't make sense if this were the blacksmith. So I guess let's just consider that this is like the alchemist shop. And then you'd see, I'll just add in a label here, and we'll just say something like, $10. And then we'll just drag this down to here. Probably need to make this a tiny bit smaller. Maybe we could put it in front. I don't know. I'll figure out how we do that. But something like that. You'd see prices here. Why can't I copy this? Duplicate. There we go. So something along those lines. Probably also shrink this some more, yeah. So this is what I was picturing for how things get sold. You only have so many display spaces, and as you upgrade your shop, you could get more. So customers who are only interested in certain goods would come over and then like wander around over here. So now I guess we need to add in some characters, huh? All right, let's add in, where is it? Creatures, here we go. Let's put you in here somewhere. So you're buying something. And I'm not going to take a bunch of these. Let's just have a couple of these. Yeah. So there are a couple of people wandering around. Where's our flip? Here it is. Bilinear filtering's on. Yeah, I wasn't super concerned about changing any of that, but fine. I think they changed where this is. I think it's now in each individual sprite. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember where you set the filtering anymore. Click import, click filter. Yeah, that was how this worked in the old system, but I don't think it works that way anymore, right? Mode lossless. Huh. I did it in the prototype. Yeah, weird. Oh, maybe it's in the entire project settings? Yeah, here it is. Default texture filter. There we go. It's now in project settings, default texture filter. Yeah. We'll be able to bury the hatchet with the snakes in the area, maybe include them to poison travelers. I wasn't planning on it, no. But I like that. Yeah. All right, yeah, now this looks a little bit better. So, yeah, I was picturing these characters would just kind of walk around and you'd be able to see how much money they have. So in this case, we put this. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then we put this down here. And this is, yeah, like you have $100 and maybe there's like a little speech bubble or something that pops up with like, hey, I want potions. Maybe they're just item types. So yeah, I was picturing that this character would, wander around and then see one of these things and they have enough money. So maybe they buy this item from you. I don't see a problem with the system. I think it's clear what's going on. You can tell who's got how much money. You'd probably want to be able to tell how much they want or what they want, I mean. And so for that, we would probably go find a potion graphic. Where are the potions? Oh, come on. Seriously? What are they at the bottom of this thing? I see a couple in there. There they are. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we could put this in here. Yeah. I'm not communicating this well because I don't have like a little speech bubble thing. But imagine if they're like, this is what I want. So yeah, so seeing what your building can do. I mean, you could just make it so you can select buildings, or you could hover over them or something. Pickpocketing random shoppers, some risk for extra reward. I'm so torn on a lot of this stuff because I feel like people are going to want something extra to do, but given that the game is pretty largely automated, the extra reward could just be playing for a tiny bit extra time, and then you'd have no risk. So I think there's got to be a pretty good balance between those things. I kind of like this idea of selling things. So yeah, you have a shop. I guess like each shop has some number of displays outside. Items can only fit on displays. Items are displayed with their prices. Maybe a simple gambling game. Yeah, but again, it's like, would you take any risk if you knew that you just could kind of just sit there and get the reward anyway? And I think you would in some cases. I think an example of a game that did gambling really, really poorly is Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing had this concept of turnips, and they were basically currency. I think you spent bells to get turnips, and then you could turn them back into bells. But the way that it worked was something like every half day, a new turnip price is generated, and it may be higher than what you paid, in which case you can make a profit. And then after 7 days, they rot and you lose them. So it was, and this is real days, by the way. So I think you had essentially like 14 rolls of the dice, and if early on you saw a pretty good price, you might be like, well, maybe if I wait another 4 days, that will go even higher. But then at some point, it's close to the end of the time, and you're just going to lose them anyway. So you're willing to accept practically any price. But maybe the prices never go higher than they were, and you're only going to lose money, and you have to determine how much you're going to lose. The problem is that this played out over the course of 7 real days. So you felt like you had to log into the game every half day just to see, did the price go up? And this was like by far the fastest way of making money, I think. So it was super tedious. And this has actually made me quit playing the game that I was having fun otherwise, because I'm like, this system sucks. And I feel like I have to interact with it because it's such a good way of making money. But it's just the most annoying. So yeah, in a game like this that we're making, Skeleseller, you might have a chance to pickpocket people, or there's a gambling mechanic or something. But the reward would have to be pretty high for you to want to do this, because you could just wait some amount of time and then get the money for real. So I guess imagine it this way. Imagine like by doing almost nothing, you're getting, let's say, like $100 per minute. So what would it take for you to risk losing, I don't know, 1,000? Is it like winning 10,000? Like, how would that work? Yeah, you could go to other people's islands. I think that required that you had the online plan. So for some people, I don't think that was an option, but maybe that wasn't true. Anyway, regardless, I thought it was a dumb system. And like, sure, if you go on to different subreddits or something and coordinate with other people, then I guess it's even kind of worse, because it's like, well, now you can practically guarantee you're going to get money. And it's just like a lot of steps to earn money. Steps that I don't think have to do with gameplay at that point. It's like you basically, you might as well just be cheating at that point. And I'm not saying, anyway, that might come off as a whatever, it doesn't matter. I guess in the context of this game, though, if you're gonna get money anyway, yeah, why would you risk it? And you'd risk it if the reward is big enough. But then how, like, does that just overshadow all of the risk? Like, are you gonna start save scrubbing and trying to get like infinite money before you can? So I don't know if I want that to be the point of interaction. You give the guy 1 coin and get a random reward worth more than 1 coin, or maybe nothing. Yeah, it's still a risk and reward system, right? Like, the game has figured out what the chance of you getting something worth more than 1 coin is. And if you were to run a million trials, you might be like, okay, the chance of winning is, let's say, like 54%. So most of the time, or over enough trials, you're gonna end up profiting. And so yeah, maybe this is the kind of thing that shows up every once in a while or something, where it's like, hey, it's a minor reward, but it's like, if you knew that this was anyway, I'm just not sold on the idea. I don't think it really fits into this game. But I'm not totally sure what's going to happen. Expected value should be lower than the cost. But then you're just losing value, right? If you pickpocket and get caught, your shop could lose reputation and drive sales down. But that's what I'm saying, right? It still boils down to there's some risk for some reward. And this equation is a bit weird with a mostly automated game. Like if you are playing a manually played game and you have to go out and quest for whatever, let's say 30 minutes earns you $50 in the game, then there's a time component to this that you care about because you actually had to spend your own physical energy, like clicking a mouse and touching keys on a keyboard. But like I said, in this game, it's like, well, you're just getting money every minute anyway. So do you care so much about the risks? Does it matter? So that's my general stance about this. And I recognize that there's got to be some decisions you're making, and I'm not totally sure what they would be. I don't think it's probably going to be very fruitful for me to mock things up. For one, I'm bad at it. And two is I would be very slow at it doing it this way. Like, let's say I wanted to move some stuff around. I guess I could at least take a picture of this and we could, yeah, let me fill in the world over here too. Does this work? Yeah, it does work. Okay, cool. Yeah, that way, just for the sake of the picture. Okay, now, nope, not quite yet. I just wanted to be able to take this like there wasn't, it wasn't just floating in space. There we go. Okay. So I'll write some text here. So customers have a certain amount of money. Actually, let's put this, whoops. Let's put this down here. Maybe customers indicate what class of product they want to buy. Your shops have some number of display tables that can each hold one item. Yeah. So that's essentially the picture that I wanted to put here. And let's probably just put this into the design. Where is this? Your town, buildings. Buildings which sell stuff can only sell certain items, are essentially priority queues, have a restocking time. So here's my little mock-up of how that would work. Oh boy. I haven't really answered anything. Well, what are some of the big questions that I had, I suppose? I guess one of them was like, yeah, how do we show abilities and cooldowns in battles? And I don't know if I have a great answer for that. So let's save this scene as battle. And that way we can delete some of, like this can just be gone. Yeah. So delete you. And probably delete the items. And the labels. And I guess the characters while we're at it. Okay, so we have a world and we're going to make our battle window. So our battle window that we had in the other game, I think was just big enough to accommodate like 12 characters on each side. So we want guess let's just make this different color. So there's going to be a border, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a space, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the border. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3. So something like this, I think. And then we put our border around it all. And now we add in our characters. So let's take you and make you, can never figure out where this is. Here it is. Yeah. All right. So we got a few of your characters here. And then some of the enemy characters. There we go. Okay, so the problem, because like this worked just fine for the original game, but that's because the original game had your abilities show up at the bottom of a window and you only had one character with abilities. So if I just load this up and go over to here and get into a battle. So these abilities show at the bottom of the screen. I still want to show these, but they're not buttons anymore. And I don't know how we do this because you could have like 6 characters in a battle that all have 2 abilities. So yeah, so how do we do this? How do we show your ability cooldowns? Each character has 2 abilities. So option number 1 could be just make space for them and show them all the time. Option number 2 could be show them when hovering over a character. Option number 3, make space for them in battle, I guess. Option number 3 could be like show them to the side. Yeah, I don't know what else we could even do. It's either show them always or show them on demand. If you're showing it always, where are you putting it? And if you're showing it on demand, then there's no real problem anymore because you would just hover over these, I guess. Tiny icons. Yeah, that's essentially option number 1, I guess. So right now, the icons would have to be really tiny because like the space over their head is like a few pixels, right? So you'd have to space out the tiles a little bit more. And then it might look a little strange that characters aren't occupying the whole tile. Maybe we just show the icons anyway. Let's just add in, let's add in something that looks like an ability here. Oops, no, I don't want to modify that. How do you zoom in on this? They could just end up overlapping. I think it might get a little busy if we do that though. So let's drag this in here. Whoops. Oh man, come on. I had the thing selected that I wanted and then I messed it up. All right, so drag a sword in here and we could put that sword thing in the battle. And this could be like a tiny icon. How do you make it not change the aspect ratio? There we go. It's like hardly visible. But I guess we'd only be using icons that are actually visible. We could just not show them. And you could just tell what your character is doing. Don't show them at all. It'll be apparent when your character does something. I'm leaning toward option 2 at this point. Because I think most of the time you probably won't even care. And yeah, hovering over your character could show the cooldowns. Yeah, I'm leaning toward that. Yeah, I think we got to just keep approaching this from like what are the biggest problems because I can't mock everything up. Uh yeah. One thing I do kind of want to mock up though is the main screen bit and just see like what does it look like. So I'll write these options down over here. Leaning toward this since should be obvious enough when your characters do something. Yeah, so why show it all the time? All right, anything else? Yeah, I don't think so. All right, let's get the main set of stuff then that I wanted. So this isn't going to be battle anymore necessarily. It's going to be more like dungeon. Let's hide these extra sprites. And then let's delete the rest of the map here. So I think we can just right click. Yes. There we go. And then in the foreground, take those out. Cool. So here is our dungeon thing. And then we're going to have doors in between each room. Guess this would go here. Why is that? Is this not transparent? Are you kidding me? What have I done? World. Did I have world transp here? Please tell me I don't have that and then I'm just because I don't want to redo this. I do have that. Oh my god. Whatever. I'm not doing that. Could you use something like pop an exclamation mark above their heads when a cooldown ends? That way the user doesn't have to keep hovering on all their characters. Uh, okay, so to be clear here, the battles are fully automated, so you won't have to click anything for your characters to use the abilities. And the cooldowns were just so that you could see how much longer is waiting, but the times are also not going to be super long. Like imagine like 4 seconds in between like fireballs or something like that, and maybe like 12 seconds in between, mega spell, whatever that happens to be. So it's not super long, and when this is used, you'll just see a fireball come out of your character. So I think you'll get an idea for how long that generally takes. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, welcome in, Shay Sam, and hey yo. Or you know what? Maybe we could have the concept of a selected character in battle, and then you see the cooldowns for that one. Alternatively, you could have a selected character in battle, and you see the cooldowns for that one. Maybe in a special part of the UI. All right, so here was one room. We're just gonna throw a door here, although I guess it doesn't matter because it wasn't transparent. But so there's that, and then this will lead you to another room. Maybe we use a different tile for that. Maybe we copy how big this is. This is 11. So we take another, no, I guess it's 11, but the door counts. So 10, 10. And then this could have a different floor as well. Again, not that it really matters. And I kind of want more breathing room than that. Why not make these a little larger? But I guess that's what we're prototyping right now. Yeah. All right, and then let's make our final room. We put another door there, and then our final room can just be a different color for all we care. So this, we draw another 10. Good. Put this in. Good. And then add in some kind of boss character at the end. Where's a good boss looking character? This thing. So whoops. That's not what I wanted. Throw that in. Make you bigger. All right. And then throw in some enemies over here too, I guess. That did not work. Yeah, and let's just move some of these over to the other room. There. All right, so there's your battle zone. I guess we need to move this whole node up now because I didn't draw this at the beginning. Yeehaw. All right. There. Now we're going to go make a new scene, and we're going to call this like main screen. Main screen turn on. And then we're going to instantiate a couple of battles in here. So this one, how do we move this? There we go. So you want to divide the screen into thirds. How large is this? How do I even figure that out? I guess let's put this here. Does it tell me its size? I don't know. 128 by 128. Okay. So I can probably just look at the viewport or something for this. Viewport. 1152. So 1152 divided by 128. So if I set this to a scale of 9, this should just take up the whole screen. Yes, it does. Okay, so this is 1152. All right, so then good. So the reason I was doing this is to figure out what is a third. So 1152 divided by 3 is 384. So 384 pixels is where we're going to draw, I don't know, a line or something. I guess let's just put this back in here and do 384 divided by 128. It's 3. So we'll scale this to 3. Oh, that makes sense because it was 9. You can tell how little attention I'm paying to all of this stuff. All right, so we set this to 3, and this forms 1/3 of the screen. So that's how much space we'd have for this. We could maybe draw, can we draw a line easily? Can we just use like a texture rect? Yeah. All right, texture is going to be a gradient. We're going to just delete this. So there's just going to be a black line that goes across the whole screen. And then some other black lines. Made it too small. You have to. How you doing? All right, so for this one, we're gonna do like this. Oh wait, why can't we do this? Oh, width is set to too wide. Let's set it to just 4 pixels or something. Yeah, and now we want to line this up here. Cool. And then one more of these over here somewhere. So we just move this to the side. I just need approximate thirds here. Because again, this is a mock-up. So there we have it. So now here's how our battle windows are going to work. These are actually going to be like clipped. So we don't have an easy way of doing that. But what we could do is we can kind of cheat. So this is going to be like battle 1. And then we can duplicate that a couple times. So battle 2 is going to go, where is battle 2? There it is. Battle 2 is going to go somewhere else. What is going on? Go back to the main screen. Yeah, battle 2 will go here. Maybe you're focused on the middle of that one. It's not really going to be clear what I'm representing with all this. So let's put this one here too. And then battle 3 will go over in the third window. Assuming I can drag this. There we go. All right, and then we need to chop off the other parts. So here's where we're gonna call this hacky rectangle. And we're just gonna make this the same color as the background. Cool. And then just cover the third or the second window. Oh, whoops. Drat. I need to make this unique. Make unique. Okay, now we make you gray. What's it doing? No, yeah, that worked. Okay, cool. Yep, got it. definitely coding this correctly or making this correctly. So there we go. We cover this. We duplicate another one of these and then cover this one. Then we put the battles on top of those rectangles. Oh yeah, now we got proper windows. You'd never know from the slightly different gray color. Oh man. Okay, well, that's kind of what I was picturing for this at least. And then your town would be in the top. So now we instantiate the town scene. And I don't even know how we get this to work. I guess we put this below everything else. Hooray. Okay, cool. So now we play this scene. And that didn't work because we had to click this button over here. Oh, it doesn't like it when you do that. Viewport stretch. Yeah, mode. I don't know, viewport, aspect, keep, sure. Maybe expand is what I want. I don't actually know. Oh, no, that works. Okay, cool. All right, now let's get the correct scene. This one. Hey, Juicebox Hero. Juicebox Hero, your very appearance always makes me think, it's almost time for Jump Royale. This is what you've done to me. And sure enough, it's like 8 minutes from now. Somehow. Jump Royale, yeah. So wait, going back to my thought from earlier though. So here's kind of what I'm picturing for the main view of the game. Your town is always visible, and there's some way of you like panning a camera. I haven't coded that or anything. And so here we see your alchemist shop. You've got some potions for sale. There's a customer who wants, I mean, it's showing a red potion, but I was kind of picturing this would just be like, I want potions. Maybe it always shows you an item that they're gonna buy. I don't know. We'll figure that out. And so this is your town stuff going on. And then while that's happening, you can see 3 battles playing out below. And you can only have 3 battles playing out. So it's not like you're picking which ones are there. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I want to mock up, which raises a very important question, which is this. I have been online for about 2 hours. What's the rest of today? And I think the real question is, what's the most important thing to do for the game? Mockups are done. You got to take a break. I will take a break in about probably 5 minutes or so. I want to figure this out. And let's see. I mean, here are our options. It's either more planning or doing something, which would probably mean like making the repo, which honestly in itself is still going to be some planning that needs to happen. But even if I were to make the repo, let's say we had that set up and I had the project system set up and everything, what am I coding first? Probably a title scene, a scene manager, that sort of stuff. And getting the project set up on its own is going to take some time. And then there was stuff that I wanted to prototype. You know what we could do? Could be prototyping the selling system. I don't know if that's a good idea. But it'd be like customers entering occasionally, wandering around, then determining that they want to buy something, walking to that item, buying it, your shop restocking. Hey, Smoo. Dedicate the data planning and prototyping, I'd say. Well, I'd already talked about making the repo on Friday, so making it like half a day ahead of time is not too bad. There was stuff I wanted to prototype that I want to watch some YouTube videos for just to get some ideas, and I can't do that on stream. But that's going to happen tomorrow, I think. And I don't think we'd get so far that would matter. What did I want to prototype? I wanted to prototype an entity component system in Godot and then like a proper state machine. And I don't think either of those should really matter at first, especially because we could just get some code working. The other thing I probably need to figure out is like What order are we going to tackle things? Yeah. Hey, Melmsy, thanks for resubbing. Do I read books much? I got into a phase where I was reading a decent amount. And most recently, I was listening to something called The Perfection Trap, and I just did not like the book. So I got maybe a quarter of the way through and then dropped it, and I haven't been reading anything since. And that was a couple weeks ago. Why do you ask? Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward making the GitHub repo and then doing a bunch of organization. Oh, and finalizing this. Okay, yeah. So we at least have I have like the next hour planned out, I think. Yeah, the next hour planned out. So here's what we're gonna do. Eat today. Adam is happy enough with the game design. What does the current today command say? That did not copy. There we go. Yeah, this I want to keep. All right, happy enough with the game design of Skeleseller, where he wants to finish some of the planning and then eventually, maybe not today, move on to coding. Doing a lot of game stuff recently. I'm halfway through a game design book that's really good. Level Up, the Guide to Great Video Game Design. You ever need something to read relevant to what you're doing? Yeah, sure. I'll write that down. Thanks for the suggestion. Are you, I think you'd mentioned working on a game and getting into Unity and everything. Are you continuing that? Or has this steered you in a different direction? Oh, whoops. Sorry, by the way, Malmsy. I had my YouTube window covered. I normally would have seen that, but I had another browser page open covering like everything. I want one tab here, this one. Yeah. Life has been very busy. Yeah. Oh, that's good though. Yeah, applying to your day job. Yeah, I think that, you know, there's something to be said. I think there's even a saying like experience is the best teacher. I like that you will eventually learn things by doing it, but how many mistakes will you make and how long will it take you to learn things that way? And so that's where supplemental resources like books and other people and blog posts and whatever else that's out there, YouTube videos, that's where those things can come in. And the way that this particular game worked, we made this prototype. It took long enough to design it. I don't know, maybe a few days. And then we cut a bunch of corners and made the prototype and learned a ton from the player feedback. I'm always a little torn on player feedback because with a prototype, it's like there's a vision I have of the rest of the game and it's not shared by everybody. But then also some people kind of give feedback based on what they want and not necessarily what works. But in this case, I think it was a lot of like, there are clear pain points here and clear things that need to be addressed. And so we spent how long redesigning this game? I guess a week. Yeah. And now we're going to pursue the final game. Should be interesting. I could talk for hours about this. Would you like to talk for hours about this? That sounded sarcastic. What I mean is I have been running an interview show. Actually, I was going to ask Juicebox Hero as well. I'll just put you both on the spot. Is this going to load? Did something die here? No, there we go. Yeah, so I scheduled one more interview on May 3rd. I did not get a date yet with Windy. But yeah, you could both be on the show. I mean, 2 separate times. I'll just contact you both separately. I don't need to put you on the spot. What kind of interviews? They're like talk show style interviews. So I've got a couple of links to the past ones here. This is the document that I have open. And so I never put this on YouTube. But yeah, the first one is on YouTube. It was just talking about, your career, I don't know, whatever topics you want to talk about, basically. Gonna make me eat increasingly hot wings. Actually, we start with the hottest wing. That way we just immediately hit peak honesty. All right, well, I'll write this down. This probably wouldn't happen till like May or June because of a vacation schedule that I have. Okay, so contact people about interviews. And I'm going to copy what you said, Melmsy, about this and this. This wasn't exactly the book, just game design stuff, how to learn these skills. Yeah. All right, I should take a break. Then when we get back, we'll make the GitHub repo. I'll do some more planning and I want to finalize the design document. So that's the plan for today. Let me write that here. So make GitHub repo, finalize design document, and then, yeah, link it in the repo. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be right back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey everybody, close the game. All right, do I need to change the title of my stream? What even is the title of my stream? Mockups and finalizing the game design. Finishing planning before we start coding. Yeah. Take care, Juicebox Hero. Thanks for playing. All right. By the way, for those who did not hear, in exactly 2 hours, there will be a new YouTube video. And I think I have it in the new video command, but you can't actually click it yet. I'm pretty sure this won't go anywhere. No, I never actually, never mind. That's not it. That's the old video. And that's not even the newest new video, so I don't know what that's doing there. Yeah, I need to edit this. And then post in Discord. Okay, so let's go tackle some of these things. This should be pretty straightforward. Lots of management of this stuff. All right, I want everything in this document because I called this another system in idle sentence ? And this turned out to be, it says 16 pages, but that's because this is closed. It turned out to be 36 pages of me figuring out what the new design of the game is going to be. So I just kind of want to move this over to here. And this should be straightforward because we're just going to copy paste it all. So yeah, I got to go through the to-do stuff. And I guess it's going to be like, make sure this whole space is empty. Make sure this entire section is empty. This document is not for tracking to-do items. Title. This is stupid. Yeah, links. Development philosophy, timeline and estimates, checkpoints. Yeah, I'm going to put this in design here. What just happened? Design. There we go. Paste that in. This should have gotten the pictures as well. Yep. So they're all the design things. And then the only other section I wanted to copy paste is the ideas section. These were mock-up questions. It's this. And that's it. This is easier than I thought. Yeah, there are probably more things I need to fill in for that, but I think we're probably good. And then we're just at the scratch pad for this. Yeah. So I think this is pretty good. All right, let's go make a GitHub repo. GitHub. Now, it might sound like, oh, I'm moving on to coding, but actually there's a lot of stuff to do in the GitHub repo before we can start coding. So this morning's stream probably won't have any coding in it. But new repository. This feels so great. Making a new repo. Description. I kind of want to put the description from up here. A game about a skeletal shopkeep. Skull. Oh, thanks, Ember. Yeah. Although I'm going to overwrite that in like 2 hours. But thank you. Okay, so do this. Add a README. Sure. Get ignore template. We'll need to put that in probably from what we had in Jump Royale. Can we specify? Yeah, Godot. That's fine. Sure. So create repo. Okay, so now we're on to all of the other many things that we have here. Make this document the source of truth. Make GitHub repo. Get to work is at the bottom of this. And I'm going to say make a shortcut to go to the Skeleseller directory. SS maybe. All right, so I got this. Where are we putting this code? Probably in here. Yeah, I don't see why not. I should probably delete the mockups. I don't think they're even that helpful. All right, so clone. Repo not found. Am I on the wrong? Oh, yep, I was on the wrong thing. Cool. There's our README. Yep, good. So we got the code. Now what? Now share access. Okay. Give me a sec. I'll do this off screen. Collaborators. Darkstorm. Invite. and add people. Quickie Joe. Should probably make sure these are the right people. Wait, did both of them just accept like within 2 seconds? What? I don't know if that's what just happened or not, but I think it is. Are they here now? What's going on? Okay, Quickie Joe is here. Darkstorm is not here. I don't know how that happened so fast. Well, whatever. Access has been shared. GitHub.com/Adam learn/Skeleseller. Yeah. Okay, next up is projects. This is already the source of truth, so that's fine. Yeah, project stuff, adding links to this everywhere. Let's go put this on my homepage. What do I want to get rid of? Probably idle ascendance. I already have that written down here to get rid of that. Yeah, remove idle ascendance. I don't think it's needed. So say goodbye to you. You are turning into Skeleseller. And do we already have S pointing to something? Yes. What is it going to? Stream of consciousness. Maybe K could be for this. Do we have K pointing to something? No, we don't. Okay, so this will be K. K. There we go. Save and download. Do I want everything else here too? Yeah. Yeah, seems reasonable. Save. All right, so that's home page. So home page. All right, so now we have Skeleseller here, and if I just press K on my keyboard or my mouse, then I can go to this. So that's pretty good. So I like that. Point design at Skeleseller. What is it pointing to now? I think we just unalias it completely. You're accepting now? Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I don't know why it had gone away so fast. Also, hi. There's nothing in here yet. And when I add assets, I should probably do it through Git submodules. All right, we'll delete this. Yeah, so now we're at the point where I want to make projects. This is going to be somewhat new to me because I've only ever made projects from my own point of view. So for example, Jump Royale, if we go look at this, we have tasks that were tasks that I needed to do, tasks that I want to do pretty soon, tasks that I was currently working on, and then things that were finished. So now what's the best way to manage this for multiple people? And I'm mostly considering this for development tasks. So I guess it's really 2 people. And given that there's team capacity here, oh, interesting. You can assign these 2 people. There might be a way to easily do that, but I can't figure out. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where you do this. Oh, maybe I see. Maybe you don't assign them from here. Current iteration, roadmap. Whoa. Okay, there's quite a lot going on here. I feel like there's a... Oh, okay, interesting. Maybe I should make a test project and try to figure this out. Oh boy. Okay, well, Team planning. Manage your team's work items, plan upcoming cycles, and understand team capacity. So I guess that's probably what I want. What else do we have here? Feature release, Kanban, bug tracker, iterative development. What does this one look like? Current iteration, next iteration, prioritize backlog, roadmap, and review my items. Interesting. Okay, this could probably work. What else do we have? Yeah, so either this one or this topmost one, team planning. I don't really know what the difference is. I guess the prioritized backlog part is what's interesting. So let's go with this one. Let's try this out. Oops, darn it. I created that with a stupid name. What do we call this? Skeleseller tasks or development, I guess. This project is currently private. I wonder if that means that the people I gave access to can read it already. Let me go take a look. Manage access. Invite collaborators. Oh, okay. I need to invite collaborators. Okay, fine. So let's add Darkstorm and Quickie Joe. There we go. Invite. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now here's our development thing. About planning feature deadlines. But there's a roadmap in like a lot of these things. So I guess I could add it, and I guess it creates an iteration. Or at least it looks like that's what it had done. I'm not totally sure. So I suppose I should be adding things into the backlog. But prioritized backlog has a backlog ready and in progress. I don't think that really makes sense to me. And I also don't really care about seeing the assignees for this. Well, I guess we'll just figure this out. It's all backed by issues anyway, so these are really just views into your issues. And I have some starter tasks I wanted to add for this. Need a way to show my tasks. I think this is a way we could do that. So yeah, seed it with a bunch of tasks, some of which won't be handled until way later. Should probably add a pre-launch section. I wonder how we would do that. Because the only thing I can think is that we would just arrange them in this list here. There might be some I want like way later on. Let's just start with a task that we know for sure that we have, and let's just kind of see how this is going to work. So add a credit scene to the game. Sure. That's a pretty easy one. So we'll say add item. And this will all go into Skeleseller. Add a credits scene. So ask everyone how they want to be credited, and then add this into the game. Add a list of tasks to the backlog, then sort them based on priority. Oh, so I need to put in what the priority is, I guess. Is it a label? Take a look at that. Note that this is not the same as adding the end game scene, which at the time of writing is when the dying adventurer buys the antidote that you found from the final boss. That is a cutscene and is a separate task. All right, let's create that and just see what happened here. Whoa, no priority. Okay, I see. So now I can assign it a priority. Move to column. No. How do you assign a priority? Huh. I don't see any way to do that. There are miles. Oh, there it is. Priority. Oh, interesting. P0, P1, P2. They're all like different shades of the same color, it looks like. I can't tell if Dark Reader is on or off right now. The check mark or an X? Okay, well, it's definitely on over here. What is it? A check mark. So I wanted to have an X, yeah. So these are the actual colors of this? Huh. Strange. Maybe it's coming from an extension anyway. All right, yeah, so credit scene is definitely a P0. It needs to be done before the end of the game. Like, you can't not credit people. But it's not important now. And that's going to be the unfortunate aspect here, which is that we're going to see this prioritized Maybe I should add milestones. Set milestone. Can I say something like pre-launch? How do you add milestones? I don't know how you add milestones. Maybe we do that through issues. You just sort the cards by priority instead of applying priority labels. Yeah, and I don't mind doing that either. I kind of want to tinker around for now, and maybe what I end up doing now doesn't really matter in the end because I just switch away from this sort of process. I don't understand though, like, oh, here we go. Yeah. All right, so this is going to be called pre-launch. Create and assign a new milestone, pre-launch. There we go. Yeah, so what I really want is I want a way to have these show by certain milestones, and I guess you could do that. I could type like pre-launch here. No, a milestone? Yeah, milestone pre-launch. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and we could say to not have this, maybe a minus sign. I don't know if that's working or if this is just a different query now, because either way I would have subtracted it. But yeah, so let's add in some new tasks. So add a credit scene. Yep, pretty obvious. We're going to need that. All right. And I did write to ask people how they want to be credited. Yeah. All right, get testing working. So we're going to make another milestone that's like checkpoint 1. I guess let's add more things to the backlog. I now no longer see how we add things. Oh, here we go. Add item. All right, add item. Get testing set up. So figure out which testing libraries we'll use. Well, library slash. And then I guess it's going to be, this should just be for testing. Yeah, and then write a really simple test. It doesn't even have to, actually, no, don't even write a simple test. Make sure it accommodates Godot nodes and testing from the CLI. Note that this is not the same task as setting up CI. Well, I should probably write that out. Continuous integration. There we go. All right, so create this. This goes into a milestone of, call it checkpoint number 1. Okay, this is what I don't understand. I got to click this and then it doesn't create it from here, but I've got to go to the issue page and then I can do it. That is a little strange. So yeah, checkpoint number 1, we need this. All right, nice. All right, then setting up CI is also pretty important. Let's add that in. Set up continuous integration. Get continuous integration set up with our tests and a linter. I wanted to use my mini PC as a runner for GitHub. Where is that listed? Yeah. There we go. Do you get free actions minutes with a private repo? GitHub private repo actions minutes? About billing. For private repos, each account receives a certain amount of free minutes in storage. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, so we probably don't even need to worry about this. Yeah. Now, the part I never really understood, it says the account gets that. So if you have a repo and you have 2 collaborators and person A submits a PR, who's billed for that, I wonder? And anyway, I'm not going to be too concerned about this because I have this mini PC, and if we hit the limit, I think it'll be fine. 85 filter. Yeah, I'd be surprised if we hit the limit too. I don't think it's going to be an issue. But I don't know if it's worth setting up until we start hitting limits. It would probably be fast to do though. All right, well, there's that. That is also something that should be done for the... Where'd the milestone go? I got to refresh this page. Yep, there it is. Checkpoint 1. Cool. Wait, there's a little dot next to it. What does that do? Oh, I see. No due date. Yeah, I don't care about due dates. All right, so that's done. Another pre-launch thing, test exporting all builds from macOS. I don't think you can build the macOS thing for anything other than macOS. So I should probably just do all of the builds myself. And I assume I can do all the builds from Mac. But we'll have to look into that. So figure out how to export all builds. The repo owner will build. I see. Yeah, gotcha. All right, create issue. So when launching on Steam and itch, we should have builds for all major operating systems. So at first we can just manually do this, but ideally this should be automated. Get a macOS signing certificate from Apple. I assume this is needed, and I assume this costs $100 per year. And then, yeah, export builds so that we can upload to the publishing sites and make sure those builds don't have any debug functions in them. Yeah, gotcha, Regathian. Yeah, happy second sub, baby. Thanks, Moo. Thanks for the resub. All right, so we created that. That is a pre-launch task. Cool. Get basic scene manager up and running. Basic scene manager up and running. All right, this was super confusing. So look through idle ascendance and figure out what was actually needed for each scene. Just run the game and look at the remote view of the engine, or of the scene tree, I guess. So that's one aspect of this. And then replicate that in C# from a scene manager that only cares about scenes. It may as well be a singleton. Yeah. Normally, I don't really want to do something like that. Like using signals for this stuff would probably be best. But then the scene manager needs references to basically everything. Although I guess we could do this in such a way. No, I don't know. Yeah, it may as well be a singleton. All right, you know what would be nice is being able to... Oh, I can't assign milestones. Well. Can I assign priorities, though? Because it appears as though I can't do that. Unless it's a label? No. Yeah, that part's kind of a shame, but it did get set up as a P0, so I guess we're fine. Okay, consider adding estimates. I don't think I'm going to do that. Keep in mind the tasks can be to add more tasks. Code the story intro. Split this task up. Yeah. Yeah, everything sounds like a P0 because at least the first tasks I'm going to add to this are like set up the battle system. And it's like, well, you can't have the game without the battle system. So that is definitely an example of a P0 task. There will eventually be things like add in more projectiles or something, and that wouldn't be P0. But getting a projectile system, for example, would be P0. All right, so maybe we seed this with seed the rest of the timeline tasks. Like code the battle system. Step 1, split this task up. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I like that, Chronic. And then make sure the milestones are marked accordingly. I want a low level of polish for checkpoint number 1. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is project management, right? Like there's no getting around this because I need to have everybody on the same page. Well, there is some getting around this, I suppose, but I'm not planning on getting around this. So yeah, we're going to seed this with the rest of the timeline tasks, and the timeline tasks we have are all down here. I hope. Yes, here they are. So building buildings, upgrading buildings, selling items, functional item effects. I'm going to just write overarching systems up here. So let's say create the building system. Split this task up into many smaller tasks. Make sure to assign them to the right checkpoints. This is probably just boilerplate text I'm going to keep needing. So let's put this over here for now. And then some things that we want to do with this are going to be allow for building, upgrading. Yeah. Allow for building buildings. Allow for upgrading buildings. And allow for granting functional effects to your characters, e.g. plus 10% damage. The blacksmith may grant plus 10% damage to all of your characters. Yep. Viewing house hasn't worked. Didn't manage to ever try Idle Ascendance. Is it still available to play, or has it been taken down? I was debating on taking it down, and then I thought, I don't think there's a reason to do that until checkpoint number 1. In fact, that's another task that we should add to this list. So add launch checkpoint number 1 and take down Idle Ascendance. When I do that, oh, you know what I wanted to do? It wasn't that. It was make it so that you can't just find it on itch. I think I just want to edit this and make it unlisted. Only owners and authorized people, only those who edit the project. Wait, can I not do that? Unlisted in search and browse. There we go. Yeah. So save that. There we go. Hey, Mr. Adabu. Good old forever. Thanks for resubbing. Yeah. What does EG mean? It's exempli. It's Latin. Gratia. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that, but it just means for example. So if you ever see that, EG is essentially for example, and IE is id est, which is essentially that is. But they're both Latin. All right. So building and upgrading. Selling items is kind of part of this, but technically doesn't need buildings to be done. Building should eventually handle restocking items. All right. So the building system, did I say this is needed for checkpoint number 1? Battle and town mechanics at their most basic. It's not all of it's going to be needed for that. So not all of them will be in checkpoint 1. We just need the most basic buying/selling for the first checkpoint. Yeah. All right, so say this. I'm going to write this, though, in the first checkpoint. Cool. All right, nice. So that's the building system. Where did the timeline go? There it is. All right, selling items. Create the item selling system. For the first checkpoint, selling items should exist, but it doesn't need to involve shops. We could just have display tables with all the loot that you got from battle. So display items on display tables and then automatically price them, I guess. And when an item is sold, restock it if you have the inventory. Okay, something like that. This should be checkpoint 1. So then we need the item buying mechanic, which is NPC customers. Yeah, so create the customer system. So allow for NPC customers to show up. There should be some chance for this to happen at any given moment. And there should be a maximum number of customers allowed in your town at any time. Customers should spawn with some amount of money and maybe a shopping list, which may or may not be made known to the player. Customers wander around and purchase based on their available money and shopping list. Skeleseller is a great name. Thanks. Yeah, I was using an AI for a bunch of different names and I just hated all of them. The one that was kind of close that I thought was not too bad was Coin and Conquest. This was an AI generated name and I was like, yeah, it's kind of generic though. I was thinking I'd like there to be some flavor here where the hook makes sense, and I really like the hook for this game. And for those who haven't seen it, there's an FAQ there, and it talks about the story at the bottom of it, and it's not very long. I'll leave this on screen while I'm reading the rest of the chat. Always hate coming up with names for stuff. AI has helped me so much in that aspect. If anything, that's what I use it the most for. I think for creative names like a game, it's maybe a good starting point, but I think it's rarely going to come up with the best possible name, especially from a marketing perspective, because it's not that good at coming up with something catchy. And I kept saying like, oh, try to combine certain words or make it rhyme or make it alliterative, and it would only kind of do that. So customers wander around and purchase based on their available money in their shopping list. When customers are bored or out of money, they leave your town. They leave town. Note that they may not leave immediately. I'll just say when they're bored. They may not leave immediately after running out of money. Perhaps that's an upgrade for some building that you get. All right. Yeah, Darkstorm's a dev on it. Quickie Joe is an artist on it. I am very, very excited about all this stuff. I do think that the next week or so is going to be kind of a slog because there's a lot of just like building the first of everything. And sure, I have the prototype, but yeah, we got to go reform all of that and upgrade to pickpocket the customers. Just take any available money. I mean, look, a couple of people have said something like that. Maybe we write it down as an idea. Yeah, here. Maybe add a skeletal pickpocket who can take some of the remaining money from NPCs. It may be better to theme this as customers have a chance to tip, but it depends on how the checkpoints are playing out. All right, so that was the customer system. What's next? Hiring new adventurers. This is not probably even in checkpoint 1, or if it is, it's like incredibly basic. How do I go back to the project? There we go. All right, so allow for hiring new adventurers. All right, so something, maybe the guild. Maybe the guild is where you do this. You spend some amount of money and get the choice to hire a new adventurer. And I think the way that I wrote that this would work is that you have a choice of like 2 at any given time. Or maybe I wrote it as like 2 to 3. I think I recall typing that. Yeah, there it is. All subsequent adventurers are chosen by the player from a pool of 2 or 3 classes that you don't already have. Yeah. Some notes. Maybe the guild is where you do this. The amount of money for each new adventurer can be predetermined, can be static across all gameplays. E.g., 100 for the first one, 500 for the second, etc. Numbers are made up. Hey, Harcurious. You also use a corn? Yeah, I really like it. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. When the next adventurer that you get is presented to you as a pool of 2 to 3 choices from adventurers you don't already have. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah. All right, and then this, I don't know what milestone to put this in. Also, if I type something like checkpoint number 2, does it let me create it? No, it doesn't. Oh, neat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a carry case, but I have the Moonlander case, and it works well enough, so I'm just using that. I guess I should say this. You choose the next adventure that you get from a pool of 2 to 3 choices that you don't already have. And then make sure to subtract the money, the purchase, the hiring cost from your money pool. I don't have a 3D printer, yeah. Someday, maybe I'd like to get one, but I feel like if I got one now, I would use it for very, very little. And then I just have a 3D printer sitting around. And yeah, I feel like the longer I wait, probably the better they'll get. And I don't know, the more things that will be available to print without me having to design it myself. All right. So this should probably be, for example, for checkpoint number 1, we can just show all possible adventurers that we've coded. Yeah. So I guess this is going in checkpoint number 1. All right, what's next? All right, so NPC customers, hiring new adventurers, so battles. I'm gonna need to do some like proper splitting of this stuff. Oh man. What do we need for checkpoint 1 for this? I don't think we need projectiles. Yeah, I think that would be like a checkpoint 2 kind of thing. Can I make a new checkpoint? Checkpoint number 2. I don't actually want this in checkpoint number 2 though. I want it in checkpoint number 1. I just want to create a new one, and I don't know how else you do that. All right, so I think we start with the simplest battle system. Create the battle system for checkpoint number 1. This is intended to be a very simple battle system. Yeah. Allow for getting into... Doesn't really allow for getting into a battle. I guess it's like allow for forming a party. Yeah, by clicking a portal, create the, and I'll say this should probably be split up before tackling any of these tasks. So create the battle map, or create the battle instance. It can just be a series of 2 to 3 rooms at first, laid out in a linear fashion. Then make the battle itself. Each character can just use a do 10 damage ability at first. There don't need to be projectiles, but damage numbers should probably be added in. And I guess like show life bars in the instance, while in the instance, which cuts out this task that we had up here. Done. Yep. All right, what else? Upon winning the battle, if there are more rooms in the instance, have your characters go to the next room. If there is no next room, show the reward screen. This can just take up the space in the UI where the battle used to be. And then upon losing the battle, send your characters back to town. Everything about using Game Maker? No, not really. I don't, for whatever reason, I don't think of Game Maker as being like as fleshed out of a game engine as something like Unity or Godot. And that's totally an ignorant opinion. I'm basing this on just random things that I've seen and heard. So I've never tried using it, and I just don't have any interest in using it, I guess. So it's possible that it's like the best game engine, and I'll just never figure that out. Then your character's back to town. I think I also wrote what happens when you die in battle. I think it was you just come back with 1 HP. Did I? Did I write that? I didn't write this down. I don't remember not writing this down. Ah, there it is. Dead adventurers. I searched for died and death, but not dead. Come back to life at the end of any given battle with 1 HP. Yeah. So we're going to write this down too. However, if all of your adventurers died, send the characters back to town. Yeah, it was here. Yeah. Hey, weirdo. Anything else we need to do for battles? Where did battles go? Here we go. So projectiles, don't care about that. Don't care about that yet. Rewards, I do care about. That's fine. Moving between rooms, entering exit. Yeah, so this is everything for checkpoint number 1. Checkpoint 1. There will be more tasks for future checkpoints. Create. Okay, so then we have finish making the battle system. And this is going to be for checkpoint 2. And we're going to paste this in. And this is where we have the rest of this stuff. Add projectiles and effects. The debuff and buff system should probably be its own entire task, but I guess that's already written down. Make a proper buff/debuff system. What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, the reward stuff is going to be pretty simple at first. I should probably actually go back to that last task and write down what the reward should be. Why are these spaced out so weirdly? Oh, because of that? Come on. Notes. Tasks. There, now it won't be spaced out weirdly. Yeah, where are the rewards? For rewards, just generate, X random items at first. Yeah. Wait, that's still, I guess it's better. All right, so what's next? Skill trees. Yeah, that's probably needed for checkpoint number 1. Create skill trees. Checkpoint 1. Allow, what did I write? Assigning, I wrote it somewhere. I don't know where it is now. Here we go. So allow assigning and unassigning points to skills and show how many available points you have. I wonder if I should, what else do you have to do? Yeah, show tooltips for each skill. How's the planning been going? Hey, Vafi. It's been going well. I mentioned this earlier that I think it's going to be a little bit of a slog this next week to just get things set up. It's a lot of like, okay, tasks, what needs to be done, setting up the project itself, getting testing working, making the foundational systems again. And at least I have the idle ascendance code to look through. So that'll help, but I want to make it much nicer than I made it then. Okay, I think this is pretty good. So create that. All right, next thing is the save system. This isn't even needed for checkpoint number 1. Create the save system. At least I don't think so. Like, what do I care? Yeah, saving won't be in there. Not a lot of content. There won't be saving/loading. No real need at first. Okay, so allow for saving the game. Allow for loading the game. Note that this is not for the autosave system. That can happen later. I think that's it, right? Just saving and loading, and then auto-saving can be done in the future. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think it's going to be great. So that'll be checkpoint 2. I don't know where we put in auto-saving. I guess checkpoint 3. Yeah. All right, so create this and go to create more. Sure. Create the auto-save system. Automatically save every so often. And then modify the loading screen so that it shows auto-saves separately. And then eject, only keep X of these. Maybe like 5, I don't know. Actually, it doesn't even really matter about keeping 5 of these. Maybe only keep 1 to 2 autosaves around. I'm designing a feature right now, and that's not important. It's just you need an autosave system. So all right, modify the loading screen so it shows autosaves separately. these are separate slots from the main save slot. That way they don't save over your progress. All right. So create this and then click this and then probably assign this to checkpoint number 3, which is actually probably just beta. You can't put parentheses? Oh no, it's just I'd have to click that. Cool. All right, what's next? So save stuff is done. Settings page, I mean, settings page is pretty basic. I don't know where it would even go. Create the settings page. I'm gonna say milestone 2. Yeah, that's fine. Need to show any relevant video/audio settings and any game options that may have come up. Allow accessing this from the main menu and from inside the game. I guess the title screen and from inside the game, yeah. Your game good yet? Game doesn't have a single line of code yet, so no. I think we could potentially start coding this afternoon. But yeah, it'd be some pretty basic stuff. Audio and video settings and any game options that may come up. Maybe something like locking the camera or customizing hotkeys. Allow accessing this from the title screen from inside the game. Yeah, so it sounds good. All right, what other things we need? Cutscenes and story stuff. Yeah. Create the intro cutscene. Just code. Planning is bad. Oh man, imagine if I had that mentality. I think planning is pretty important when it comes to a team project because it's important to know what other people are working on, you know, not duplicating effort. And the time zones are different enough where it's pretty tough to coordinate those things otherwise. Title screen is the press any key to continue stuff for the main menu. Yeah. I could kind of look at it either way. Not working on the idle game anymore. Oh, this is the evolution of that idle game. So this is now the storyline for the game. Is that visible or is my head blocking? My head's blocking it. Anyway, yeah. You died as an adventurer, you come back as a skeleton, and you are now a shopkeep. Just start and let it come together naturally. Like I said, I don't think it's a good idea for a team project. If you've worked in a team project and you've produced a successful product and you've just let it come together naturally, I would be pretty impressed because I think some amount of planning is a good idea. So you gave up? No, it's got a lot of those mechanics in there. So the idea is still kind of similar. This is a mock-up of what I'm planning, but I'll show you. No, nothing is functional here. So before, you just had a world map and battles took place on there. Now battles are going to show at the bottom of the screen at all times. So you can only have 3 battles going on at a time. You will have groups instead of having just single adventurers like you did before. And then the rest of the screen is your town. And that's where you'll see people who are, you know, coming into your town and they want to buy something. So like this character has $100 and can go and buy one of these potions, for example. So maybe they wander over there, they buy it, and your money goes up by 50. And then they, you know, wander away and leave your town. And so you get those items from doing battles. So these are just automatically happening, like what was automatically happening before in the old game. So that's kind of where that system comes in. So yeah, it's not that we just ditched it. Didn't realize you had a team for this. Yeah, I mean, even if I didn't have a team, I'd still be doing some planning of like, what's the design? When am I generally going to do this stuff? Because I think that's good. What are dollars? Imagine this game has like mages and wizards and stuff, and I'm like, yes, it is US dollars. Very important that we make that clear to players. Yeah. So create the intro cutscene. This is the, whoa, what just happened there? This is the scene where your character dies to poison. So yeah, definitely split up tasks. the smaller tasks. We need things like making a character walk, talk, get into a fake battle, take poison damage, etc. Yeah. Now this should not be until at least checkpoint 2. Why can't I click this? Also, did it create that? No, it didn't. That's strange that I can't click that. Huh. I guess let's just go into it and change the checkpoint. What checkpoint do I actually want this in? I don't know. We'll just say checkpoint 2. All right, then there's create the end scene. And I'll say this is the scene where after you've beaten the final boss, where you sell an antidote to an adventurer. Yeah. And like the first task is come up with what needs to be done for this and fill it out here before doing anything. All right. That we're going to put probably toward the beta. Yeah. All right, what's next? Credits page. I think I already wrote that down. Yeah, I did. Achievements. Okay, so achievements are the first non P0. Create the achievement system. Okay, so whoop. This is probably just for Steam. I'm pretty sure it would have to be for that. So I guess like figure out how to even get achievements to connect to Steam. There's probably an API that we can call into. And then make sure this code only runs on Steam. And then come up with the achievements. I don't even have them. Probably put in a bunch of skeleton puns. And then add all of the achievements. You can use the Steamworks SDK. Yeah. I just need to figure out how that actually plays out by targeting Steam instead of mobile, iOS, or Android. I think that a game like this would be very hard to come up with a UI that would work for a phone. But I do think it would work well as a phone game if you had the UI. So it's just a matter of figuring out like what to target. If this game does well, I think that would be a big consideration. Like maybe now it should be a mobile game. I don't consider this to be an idle game in the traditional sense, but I recognize that there is a lot of overlap with that. So yeah, I agree with you. I do agree. All right, so this is create the achievement system. That should not be in checkpoint 2. That should definitely be in the beta. All right. Now music, juice and polish, content. Yeah. This stuff, we're going to have to like add content. Add more abilities, add more adventurers. Adventurer classes, I guess. Add more items to be sold. Add more regions that you can open portals to. Add more for you and for enemies. Add more enemy types. What else do we have? Add more shops and upgrades. I think that's it. I guess like, yeah. Bargain phones. Oh, I mentioned this earlier that one of these issues wasn't going to be P0 and it was achievements. achievements is probably P1. Where is it? Man, it is super hard to figure out where the stupid priority is. Oh, inside project? Oh, I gotta expand this. Okay. P1. Estimate iteration. Interesting. Skeleseller vendor? Do you mean like someone who sells something? Rate the achievement system. Where do we leave off with this? Oh, music. Oh man, music. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't totally sure. So add music. I guess step 1 is figure out how many tracks we want and then like make the music and then get the music to play at the right times. Oh boy, that's the biggest task for this entire game. And this probably needs to be started in checkpoint 1. It's too bad I can't just click that. Note adding this for checkpoint 1 because we need to consider this early on, but it won't be done by the end of checkpoint 1. So that was music. Sound design as well. Let's add that in. So add in sound effects. So find some asset packs that have fantasy sounds, add them into the game at appropriate times. And then Godot added in something that is like polyphony. Where did they put that? Polyphony. Yeah, max polyphony property. So this is how many sounds a node can play at the same time. Probably want to make use of that. May want to make use of the max polyphony property. There we go. Sound effects. I think checkpoint 2 is probably a good place to start adding that. All right, next, juice and polish. And then the launch stuff. We got content. So yeah, juice and polish. Did I add that already somewhere? Close. No, I didn't. All right, juice it up. Is there a juice emoji? What's going on? Yeah, there. Look over the entire game and figure out where we can add some liveliness. Yeah. And I had a thing here. Yeah. Could just watch random YouTube videos for inspiration on what could look better. Yep. Cool. Yep. Milestone will be checkpoint 3. Great. All right. So that's done. Oh, yeah. This should probably go in there too, I guess. Planning to do something like Steam Early Access. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I should probably explicitly write that out here. Launch early access. I mean, this is, I'll put this here. maybe just for beta. Yeah, so we got to write some of this stuff down. There's going to be create the trailer now. Add, create a trailer for the game. I'm going to just write the same thing. This is split this up into many smaller tasks. And checkpoint is going to be for the beta, I guess. But then we're probably going to need to redo this for the launch of the game. Yeah. So there's a trailer. Producing builds you already wrote down. So the Steam page in early access. So set up a Steam page, early access. This would be for checkpoint 3. And then Twitch game listing like Botland had. Yeah. So I think you still do this through Giant Bomb. Twitch game listing, Giant Bomb. They had a page on this. How do you get a new game listed? How to add a game to Twitch. It's probably that. Oh, here we go. I'm guessing they still use Giant Bomb. IGDB. Wow, that's new. Is Botland on here? It is on here. I wonder if this is just what Giant Bomb turned into. Wow. Wow. one person played the game. All right, a goal for Skeleseller is get this number to at least 2. But for Skeleseller, of course. All right, so create a Twitch listing through IGDB. See this. I don't really think there are going to be like lots of streamers playing this or something. You might as well give them the section for it. And that's that, right? Yeah, that's all of the tasks that I had in the timeline. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what have we done? Seed this, done. Polish tasks, we added that in. Note to self, make sure to add fixes, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty important, I guess. I'll leave the note to self here, I suppose. All right, design classes, 3 abilities each, a class defining ability. Think of roles like tank, healer, DPS, hybrid. Yeah, that's kind of the add content thing, but we at some point need to develop design the classes that will appear in checkpoint 1. Yeah, and also consider the class defining abilities that I already had. E.g., how will execute work in a party system? Maybe it's only when the warrior deals damage. It's creating the wishlist page. A task for P1, having the wishlist button early is said to be important to be featured on Steam. I think so. I think the hard part is having enough that you can show for your game. I think the development time of this game should be pretty fast. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe at like the 3-month mark. Let me wait a second. I want to write that down. I want to make sure that I just did this correctly. This should be for checkpoint 1. Yeah. Okay. So wait, we have a Steam page thing, right? Yeah, set up a Steam page, early access. I guess let's change this a bit. So we'll put this in checkpoint 1. Note, I put this in checkpoint 1 because we want to see, we'll probably want a Steam page just for wish listing relatively early on. I'll put this in checkpoint 2. It doesn't make sense. Whoops. No. Why'd you delete it? Okay, there it is. Oh. But I don't know if we'll want early access yet. So consider splitting this task up. Yeah. All right. That's done. Probably makes sense to make a logo and a Steam page somewhat soon so people can start wishlisting it. Starting logo could be something quick, not the final one. Throw that logo in the game itself. Maybe make a trailer that says prototype footage. All right, now make a shortcut to go to the directory that I want. So edit Z shell. I think we had IA for idle ascendance. We're gonna make, does SS do something? No, it doesn't. SS will be for Skeleseller. There we go. All right, source Z shell and now SS. Done. Nice. All right, yeah. So get to work. Keep in mind that the first few days will probably just be getting set up with very little real game code. Yeah, so this is just a note I need to keep track for myself to do. We're just going to delete this section too. I don't even know where to write that though. Yeah, I'll just write it on my to-do list. Also, maybe let's close all these other tabs. All right, so make GitHub repo done. Finalize and link in the repo we have not done. So let's go link it in the repo. That was not what I meant to type. Trust and readme. So links design document is Skeleseller here. And then the public FAQ that is here. I don't even think I copied that correctly. Is this correct? Design document, yes. Public FAQ, yes. Okay, cool. So let's go make the first real commit. Add links to README. Neat. Terminal name. I'm using iTerm2. I think it's in the FAQ about like what program, what program are you using for whatever. And so yeah, Visual Studio Code, iTerm2, KeyPass, OBS, etc., etc. All right, I think we're in good shape. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe this is happening. I mean, a month, what was it, a month ago? When did I actually, let's first of all write this stuff down. Design the rest of Skeleseller, mocked up some UI, I guess. Planned the timeline and started the GitHub repo. That was all just this morning. So yeah, when is the first time idle ascendance showed up here? Spent the day prototyping. Okay, but I think we wrote it as game design before that. Yeah. So March 13th. So a tiny bit over a month ago, this game didn't even exist as an idea. And then we wrote all the code super fast. And now here we are making an actual game. Oh, man. Yeah, so you deserve a chocolate. Thank you. I think I'm going to start the code this afternoon. Yeah. So I'll take my lunch break and everything. So here's what we'll add in. There's that. This video will become public in 45 minutes. So please do take a look. Oh, you know what? You know what? No, that's stupid. Let's just make it public now. Yeah, because I'm going to take my lunch break, and that way you can all watch it if you still want to watch me. Let's go make it public. What? How do I? Visibility public. Update. There we go. All right, available now. We'll also make a post here. I just got to wait for this to be done. But yeah, new YouTube video while I'm on lunch. All right, that should work. Come on, show the thumbnail, show the thumbnail. No, where's the thumbnail? I want there to be a thumbnail for this. I don't know why it didn't show up. Man, what's going on here? Is it because... What is going on here? What if I did it this way? Something's amiss. The video... Oh, is it not public? Oh, does that not work? No, it's still marked private for some reason. That's weird. I went through the UI to do this. I guess it just didn't work. I don't even know how to... Hang on a second. Man, I'm sorry. Normally I would mute my mic, but I don't think the mouse shortcut is working. Okay, there. Now I made it public, and now this should finally work. There we go. Whoopsie doodle. All right, so if I just retype this, it should give me the... There. Whew, we got it. Yeah, sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to go eat lunch. I'll be back after about an hour, and we'll probably start some code this afternoon. So thank you all for watching, and I'm very excited about how this is going to go, and I'm going to go get some food. So yeah, take care. See ya.